Hello and welcome to Stable Connection. I'm Dustin. Along with me is the co-host Trey and Jacob. We are live from the Lion's Den again, guys, and we have a special guest. Our special guest today, please give it up for the level Zae Carter. How's it going, Zae?
I'm up.
So, welcome to Stable Connection. We are glad to have you. Jacob is actually getting to join us for this one. So, tell us about yourself.
Man, where to start? So, name's Zae Carter. I've been wrestling for about, I want to say, I've been training for a year. Been working in the ring for about 6 or 7 months now.
Oh, nice.
From Port Arthur, Texas, down south. Born and raised. I got into wrestling at an early age. I think I was probably 6 or 7, watching Monday Night Raw in like '06 through '09. Kind of fell out of it. Got into that mode where it's like, you love wrestling, then you hate it. It's like, man, this is fake. Like, what am I doing? And then I recently came back to it. I went to WrestleMania last year in Dallas. Well, now it's last year because we just passed the new one. But I went there in Dallas and I wanted to work for WWE. And I was like, man, this would be so cool to like be on the road, packing up rings, and being a part of the action because I was a fan at the time. The market was like, hey. And then I came back home. Couldn't find any jobs with WWE. It was a bust. I didn't have the money to like travel to back and forth to wherever they're in Connecticut. So I found Houston Carson and Lions Den, Lions Pride Sports, and I came in for a tour, and immediately he saw me and he's like, man, you got some good size. You're really hot on it right now because I came fresh off WrestleMania, so I really wanted to do it. So I was in that mode where it's like, I'm going to do it. Be here every day. And that just manifested into me the next day calling him back and saying, hey, I want to do this. I came the next week on that Monday, and I started training. And I would say from, I think it was like April 6th, give or take. From April 6th to July 31st, I worked my ass off. Day in, day out. I came here, I worked out for like 2 hours, trained in the ring for another couple hours, and that was my routine actively for the next 4 or 5 months until it got my time to debut. And once that happened, the rest is history. But yeah.
Tell us about your debut.
Man, it was cool. So the way it happened was it was at our annual anniversary show called Here to Stay. I think it was 4. My days, my dates, events, everything's mixed up. I do a lot now. It's kind of crazy to keep up with, but Here to Stay, the way it kind of came about was he took a couple of us, not rookies or newbies, but a couple of guys that have been here for at least a year or so. I was the newest one. I think I had been training for about 6 months. And he took us and he was like, man, I'm going to debut you guys at our anniversary show, our biggest show of the year. I trust you guys to, put on a good show and entertain and do all that good stuff. I just asking you to be your best and do your best. And then I got the news that Lance Archer, AEW's own, will be in my match as my savior per se, save my tail from Tabi Chulo. And that was awesome. It's cool.
Nice. So you actually got to work with Lance Archer a little bit then.
Yeah, save my tail.
So you kind of talked about what got you into wrestling. Was it
Yeah.
just that WrestleMania that's like, man, I want to do this?
Yeah, I think it was that. But I also think it kind of played in part to my just natural size. I played football in high school all throughout my younger years, and that was my kind of go-to because when we were kids, me and my brother would, do swan time bombs off the top rope, off the bunk bed, and at the time we didn't understand the magnitude of what we were doing, and that was kind of dangerous because we broke many windows, we broke many beds, and got many butt whippings from my mom. But it all kind of came full circle. But I think that in part to WrestleMania kind of all came together, and it was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And my God-given abilities, size and athleticism, that just kind of played a part too, and making it kind of not easy, but put the work in, you get results.
Yeah. Y'all got anything?
I was gonna ask, was there like a specific segment at the WrestleMania or like a specific match that really got you going, like really got you back in the mood of wanting to be a wrestler?
Man, that's a good question because I I didn't really watch wrestling, but I knew it was coming to Dallas back in 2021. I knew it was coming to Dallas. So at the time, I was going through a job transition. I was moving cities and all that good stuff. But I was making more money. So, with more money comes, I'm going to spend it on something. So I saw the tickets. And then at the time, I know Vince was still in charge. And things weren't really going well as far as, like, selling out shows. So tickets weren't crazy. I was like, man, I told my girlfriend, I was like, we're going to, probably go to WrestleMania. And for me, I'm an impulse kind of guy. Like, I'll be like, man, I don't want to do it the next day. I'm like, well, just get in the car and go do it. So we impulsively got tickets and went there. And then I watched probably 4 to 5 months leading up to it of like what was going on, who was new, because I'm a kid coming from like 2010 to Jeff Hardy, John Cena. Those are my guys. Now I'm looking at like Bianca Belair. I'm like, who is this person? Like, I'm like, who is she? But I'm like, still got our regulars. Like Randy's still there. I knew a little bit about Seth, but I didn't know him too much. And then I knew Cody was kind of coming back, so I was like, I know Cody. Cody was like Dashing Cody back then. Like, he's the American Nightmare now, but I guess there's a story to it. So we get there, and it's all, lights, camera, action. We did the whole week. We did WrestleMania week. We checked out WrestleMania Access. We did the entrances, all this good stuff. And little did I know I was going to be an actual wrestler a couple months later. But we did all that stuff, and I was like, man, this is a really cool environment. Like, I don't know why I ever stopped liking this. So I think it was night 2. It was Roman and Brock, and I was like, I don't really care who wins. I just want to see a good wrestling match. And it didn't pan out that way, but when I left, I was like, man, this is an environment that I want to be in. I want to be, I want to be a casual fan of this now. Like, I want to potentially do this. It didn't work out that way immediately, but, as I said, I'm here now. So I don't think it was a moment. I just think it was the art of WrestleMania. The way they put it together, the flashing lights, the entrances, the theme songs. I mean, it all kind of played a part. And I was like, man, even Stone Cold came back that year, and it was beers everywhere. It was a wet ring, and I was like, man, that was my first time drinking a beer my whole life. I had just turned 21, so I was like, I'm gonna get a beer. I'm gonna drink it with Stone Cold because I'm just gonna enjoy that moment. So that was pretty cool for me to do, and it's all that culminated into one thing, and it kind of like built my love for professional wrestling again, and kind of took me here.
Trey, you got anything?
Yeah, my question is, who got you into wrestling? Like you said, you watched it a lot growing up. Was there anybody specific that was like, hey, this is what I enjoy?
I think it was just me and my brother. Shout out to him. We spent many nights in the bedroom just watching it on Monday nights. We were more of the Monday night crowd, not really the SmackDown crowd, because we would stay with my dad on certain days, and then we would go stay with mom on certain days. They split it up, all that good stuff. So when we got to my mom's house, it was the weekend, so it was like, man, we're going to play the game tonight. It's a Friday night. We ain't got to go to sleep early, all that good stuff. So we kind of missed out on SmackDown. He was still watching because he was a Jeff Hardy fan. I was a John Cena guy, so I was like, Cena rules. But we never really had that one influence that brought us to wrestling. It was just us looking for an outlet to kind of like express our love for like doing something. At the time, my brother was a bit overweight. I'm not putting him under the bus. I just, got to tell the story. He was a bit overweight, so he tried football, and it didn't work out for him. I was more so of the active kid. I did all that good stuff. But one area where we related at the most was professional wrestling. So they brought us together. We would get all the action figures. I mean, we'd have hundreds. We get the Mattel ring, all that good stuff. We had a steel cage. We had a Hell in a Cell. We had pretty much every setup you could think about having as a kid. And got to a point where mom was like, okay, we're not buying you anything else because you guys have it all. So what's the point of us buying you a new ring to go in the room with other 4 rings you got? And then they started making the rings like lifelike and making the rings like actual cloth and all that good stuff. And I was just like, man, we got to have it. So we got it. I mean, that's just kind of how it happened for us. So we never had that influence, but we always had that connection to where it brought us together. So we'd watch it. And at the time, as kids, we didn't know that anything was fake. We didn't know it was work. And, kayfabe was still kind of alive back then. So, what you saw is what you got. So
I think that's the beauty of being a kid is you
definitely.
You get to enjoy it without being like, oh man, this is.
Yeah.
I already know what's gonna happen and all this other stuff. So
like we were terrified of the boogeyman. We terrified of. We would go to school.
On Monday morning, God, I used to have nightmares about the boogeyman.
Yeah, me too. I used to think he'd be on my head if I looked under there.
Oh my God, I used to be so scared of that man.
I think it's also crazy that's how it all came full circle. We used to watch Booker T, King Booker at that time, and to where I'm at now of hopefully like one day I'll be able to go to Bro and train with them, relative wrestling, and train with them, and hopefully work a show for them. But it all comes full circle. So I know guys that train for them, things like that. So it's pretty cool world we live in.
Who would you say your inspiration is?
Man, I always have a hard time with it because a lot of things inspire me, but also I'm one of those guys that I'm working on being emotional and like recognizing and acknowledging what inspires me, who inspires me, all that good stuff. So my girlfriend inspires me a lot, Anaya. We've been through a lot. We've been together for I think 4 or 5 years now. High school sweethearts, that whole love story, whatever. Yeah. But she inspires me a lot. She recently graduated college this past weekend, and for me, I was probably one of her biggest supporters and also one of her biggest I'm not gonna say roadblock, but biggest I questioned a lot of things. I dropped out of college and I withdrew, but I say I dropped out, whatever. I stopped going to college. I tried it out for a semester. For me, it didn't work. I wasn't that kind of guy. I was an architecture major and did a semester. I was like, math is not me. I can't do it. But for her, once I stopped doing it, she kept doing it, and she was at Texas A&M. I was at Blaine College here in Bryan, Texas. But she kept doing it, and I was one of those guys that was like, man, what you need college for, bro? We can go you can do anything you want to do without college. And for me, I got into this career path. It's property management. I recently just left it, not even a month ago. I got tired of it, and I was like, I'm going to make my own future and control my own destiny. But I got into that. I did it for about 4 years, and I called that my college. That was my avenue to learn, grow, and build myself professionally. But for her, she stuck with college. She stuck through the sleepless nights. I mean, it was some nights I wake up at 7 and she's still up. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, it ain't that serious. It's never that serious. Even to where it comes down to grades. Like, she'll go crazy if she got a C. And I'm just like, bro, ain't that deep. C's get degrees. Hell, D's get degrees. For me, if you pass, you pass. Like, once you walk across the stage, you're not gonna look at the what is it called? The grades, the letter grades, the GPAs. For me, I don't care. Like, as long as you get a degree and be recognized as somebody who graduated from Texas A&M College. But I say all that to say, she dealt with a lot from me, but she also continued pouring into me as far as support, love, all that good stuff. It was times where she very well could have said, bro, you're doing too much. I'm gonna just leave you. But she didn't, and for that I appreciate her and thank her. But also, she taught me a lot as far as emotional stability and just how to be an emotional human being and be vulnerable. So, if anything has not inspired me more than her, showing me that in order to continue to grow and strive and do all these things, you gotta let people in. You gotta let people know what you're going through. Because I'm the type of guy that I'll go through struggles, pains, hardships. I don't flinch. I don't show any emotion on it. Because as men, we're supposed to just do it. And I kind of came up with that mentality. It's not a good one to have. I'm slowly getting over it, but she's been the one to get me through that and all that good stuff. So, biggest inspiration as far as day to day and who I wake up to, it's my girlfriend. But if you're looking inside the ring inspiration wise, it's John Cena. He's a guy that revolutionized professional wrestling, in my opinion. Now the old heads are gonna be mad at me, but in my opinion, he revolutionized it. He literally put it on pen and paper. He gave you the blueprint as to how to get over. He's not a crazy wrestler. He's not like AJ Styles. He can't just go wrestle and all these crazy things. He give you 5 moves of doom, and that's all you get. But
hey, he can do a pretty sick sunset flip powerbomb though.
But he will definitely give you character work, psychology. He knows how to work the crowd and all that good stuff. So if you're looking for an all-around guy that can hit all the points and be the guy for the brand, that's what you look at. I strive to be like him. I strive to carry myself the way he does. From his contributions to Make-A-Wish, all that good stuff. He's someone that showed you how to do it. It became the role model for it. And what more can you want out of a role model inspiration? So,
Y'all got anything right now?
All right, so you mentioned John Cena in terms of not being the best in-ring wrestler or the worker, but being real over with the crowd and all that. Who would you say is the top guy or the top 3 guys in terms of over with everybody or that you enjoy watching the most? Current day.
So basically his Mount Rushmore.
I wouldn't say Mount Rushmore. Not quite. But current day.
I really love what Sami Zayn's doing right now. just because, in my opinion, he's kind of working the underdog angle, even though he's gotten very over. But he's not a guy that you'd expect to be holding a world championship, which he very well could. I would make him a champion, but these other wrestling marks would disagree because of how he looks and all that good stuff. But his character work and his in-ring ability to control the crowd and convey a message that's appealing to everyone and that you're gonna get locked into a story. He's number one, and then I think two is just Roman. I was a guy who hated Roman. When I came back to watching wrestling sporadically, I would see this new guy that's big dog in the yard, and I'm just like, bro, you're not John Cena. Like, chill out. Like, you're not him. But over these past 2 years, as I watched him more and more, I realized that he is him. He's that guy. He can control a crowd with very little words. Yeah, he says one thing, acknowledge me, and everyone puts their fingers up. So he's definitely has that influence, and he doesn't do much in the ring either, but he can control you with what he does storytelling wise, and that's what's most important. Because if you can't tell a story, if you're just doing spots, you'll last for a while, a couple of years, but he'll phase out. This guy has been force fed to us for like 10 years. And now he's just getting over, but he's remaining over because of these stories he's able to tell. So that's most important. And then I say Cody. Cody came back and he wowed me because I left wrestling for a while and I didn't know much about it. But when I came back, he came back too. But he did a stint with AEW and then he has Indies run. He went around the world. He literally left, rebuilt himself, and then came back and controlled the masses essentially. Do I think he should have won a Mania? Yes, but also with my wrestling brain, no, because the story ends right there essentially. But just to satisfy the crowd, I would have gave it to him. But be that it may, Cody's over, and Cody knows how to work a crowd. Cody knows how to sell the vision of what his father instilled in him and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's my top three.
Went from undesirable to undeniable.
Absolutely.
Anything else from y'all?
I did want to add, he said he was an architecture major. I was an architecture major too, and it only lasted one semester, and I changed my major. So I understand how tough that is.
Yeah, college was one thing for me that was just, I don't know why I did it, but I did it to, so here's the thing with me. I'm not going to go into a spiel, but I'll just tell you a little bit. For the longest, my dad's going to watch this, but everyone else supported me. He did too, but a dad's support is different, and I felt that I always had to make him proud, and for me to get a congratulations out of him, I know I did something really good. So for the longest, I fought for that approval, and not that he was intentionally being, oh yeah, you gotta go do this and do that and make $100 million, and I'm gonna be proud of you. He was never like that. But for me, he was so hard on us as kids, and that kept us out of a lot of trouble. And he, between him and my mother, they produced two great, young men. But I always sought out that approval, and I played football my whole childhood into high school. I quit playing my senior year because of issues I had with the coach. Looking back on it, it wasn't an issue with the coach. It was just me being a kid and being stupid. I could have very well went D1, but not being smart. However, at that point, I felt like I quit football and then I put on my dad, which probably never would have told you that because it wasn't true. But I felt that way, so I always felt like, man, I got to do something to make him proud. Like, I got to do something to figure out, be like, man, Isaiah, you did something. So I went to college and I was like, well, maybe me going to college would be like, yeah, first in the family to do this, all that cool stuff. I wasn't gonna finish it though, but and so happened to be this wrestling thing came about, and here we are, and he's very supportive of it. Everyone's supportive of it. I can't say anyone's not supportive of it. I have the biggest support system that I could ever wish for with this whole thing, and I'm in a phase right now where I'm growing rapidly more than I would have imagined. Because within this independent scene, there's so much talent and there's so much great talent, and to be recognized sometimes as one of those young guys. It's like, man, you're not there yet, but you have all the intangibles to do it. You have the right training, you do the right things, you're respectable, you're humble, you're gonna make it eventually. Just keep putting in the work. And there's a lot of those guys in Texas. I can name a lot of them. I won't name any because if I don't name one, I'm like, why you didn't name me? But there's a lot of those guys in Texas. Just to be looked at as one of those young guys, it's like, man, they're on the up and coming. And I have a lot of cool things coming up, and not to get too much into it, we'll talk about it in a few seconds. But I'm really blessed to be where I'm at and doing what I'm doing and around the people that I'm around, Houston, all the guys in the training facility, they're pouring the most into me and, give me all the good advice as to what to do, how to do it. Couldn't ask for anything more, but on that college tip, I did it to try to please my father and, make something of myself, and I didn't need to do that.
So, besides Houston,
yeah,
here at LPS, who has helped you the most in becoming Zae Carter?
Man, they're gonna hate me. How you gonna do this to me? You can't do this to me. It's been a village. I'm not gonna put it on one person. I've worked with pretty much everyone in this facility. When I came in on day one, the first person I met was Matthias. We are cut from the same cloth. We have the same last name. They think we're related, but that guy's built different. I know I go by built different in the ring sometimes, but that guy's built different, man. He's done things and he can do things that the regular human being can't on the indie level. It's crazy to think about. And that's the first guy I saw. And he used to introduce me to him on my first day coming tour. And he was like, "Man, you got some good size." And we just sized each other up, and I was like, "Man, this guy's cool." Houston was like, you have the same last name. Are you guys related?" And I was like, "I doubt it, but I don't know."
I will say he has a pretty gnarly spear too.
Man, I took it and it wasn't pleasant. But between Matthias, guys like Shim, Mia Friday, Zane Valero, Chavi Chulo, TKO Joe, Drake, Texas Don. I'm not gonna stop naming names. I'm gonna forget a lot of names, but this whole team in here has been it's taken a village to get me to where I am now. I mean, no one has been negative towards me. No one has not helped me with anything. On the first week I was here, I learned so much because everyone got in the ring and they were like, "Let me show him this. Let me show him this. He needs to learn this." I mean, Abe, one of the head trainers here, he kind of took me under his wing and showed me the basics when I first got here, and that was much appreciated because I would have been a wreck getting into the ring with those guys trying to do what I thought I knew how to do. I'm a guy who studies a lot, so if I'm doing something new, I'll go study it like the week before and do it every night. So I got here and I was like, "Man, this is easy. I can hit the ropes. I can jump out the ring. This is light work." I jumped in the ring and fell on my face the first time, and it was hilarious because I was like, and then I didn't know who Abe was, so I was like, this skinny guy, thinks he can train me. Like, I'm an alpha athlete. Like, I'm that guy, and I wasn't that guy at all. So, but it's taking the village, man. I want to name more names, but I'm gonna forget a lot of names. I'm gonna just stop naming names, but I appreciate all of y'all because I wouldn't be who I am now. I wouldn't be the level without half of these guys.
Well, let me ask you this then: your favorite match in your career so far?
So far, I gotta say, I've had a couple interesting ones. I'm gonna say me and Thomas Dias. He was one of the first guys that brought it out of me, that dog out of me essentially. We're two of the biggest guys here, so coach said it the best. He was like, he's gonna wake you up. You've been doing all these drills and stuff, but when you get in the ring with Matthias, he'll wake you up and he'll show you. He'll welcome you to Lions Pride Sports, and he welcomed me to Lions Pride Sports. That match we did a lot of cool stuff. I jumped out of the ring. I did a suicide dive, over the top dive. That was fun. So we did a lot of cool stuff in that match. We told a story, more importantly. We told a story of who's this new kid and who's the alpha, the vet. He's respectable. He very well should be, a WWE prospect very soon. But super talented guy as well, So he has a lot of things that he can do with his life, it's what he wants to do. But he's definitely one of those guys you'll see on NXT really soon. And for him to take that time with me and, show me how to be a big guy, show me what to do in the ring, just show me those small things that, some guys can't show you because they don't live the life of being a big guy. He one of those kids that Houston first got, and, he showed him the ropes and he made him into a star. And he was like, "Man, Houston deal with me. He can do the same thing. We just got to listen, be a sponge, do it all. But for right now, I'm going to kick your butt and we're going to learn some things." And that's how that went.
You're currently in a tag team with Jack.
Yes, sir. My guy, Jack
Calloway. Yeah. He's actually going to be on our show Friday, guys. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. We're actually recording with him Friday.
Dope. Man, Jack's a cool guy, man. He's one of those people that I never would have expected to be in a tag team with, let alone I wanted to be in a tag team with. Jack has such an interesting look that I know he's going to be recognized as one of the top guys in Texas, another WWE prospect as well, just based on how he looks, what he can do ring and all that good stuff. We're all athletes here. We all have the potential to do it. But, I have my guys that I'm like, man, they're going to do it. And Jack's one of those guys that's going to do it. And you just know it. You can see it. He has the it factor, And that's why I didn't want to be in a tag team with him. I was like, man, I wanted to be the big solo star. And I was like, man, bringing Jack in my drip going to mess me up. But, it worked out for the better. We're a match made in heaven, essentially. Because we fit together so perfectly. Our styles are kind of the same. We're kind of like the same things. We're into the pop culture kind of thing. So everything one likes it as well. So when it comes to like designing new gear for us or something like that, it's always, man, that's sick. Let's do it. If he said something, I'm like, man, that's sick. Let's do it. So me and Jack, the tag team the dynamic just kind of works. I don't know why it works, but it just works. And it's one of those things that just happened, based on how Kobe booked the show. So.
Anything else from y'all?
So we talked about your favorite match so far. Is there anybody that you want to go against specifically, be it Lions Pride or AEW or even like indie scene?
Yeah, man. I got a hit list. Definitely got a hit list. But as time progresses, I'm sure I'll run across those guys eventually, and we'll connect and we'll probably set something up hopefully. But for now, I'm not worried about it. But I think there is a couple of guys that I can name that I just want to face because they're big guys, and I want to have that strap on my back saying that I faced him and went toe to toe. So I think one of those guys will be. I want to do my true angle with Matthias. I want to have that whole storyline play out, and I want to see how it goes. And win or lose, I know it'll be a banger. It'll be one of the top to ever go through Lions Pride history, and I know that record will stand for a while because I'm built different. But Matthias is at the top of my list as far as like who I want to face and have a long drawn out storyline. And then there's so much talent in Texas that's just like I want to face him. Ryan Davis is one of them that I want to just go toe to toe with because of the knowledge he has. He learned under Booker T. He's taken what he's learned. He's able to train other individuals and students to be great. So Ryan Davis is one of those guys that I want to face. In the future, and I'm pretty sure I'll get there. Then Jay Alexander is one that I want to face. It'll happen in due time if Jay's on the indie still. Jay's a great talent as well. He does great things. And I'll give you one more maybe. Edge Stone is another one that I want to face. It's funny because they're in the tag team right now. They do tag team work, but those are all a lot of big guys that I want to go against, and I like to match up with big guys because big guys can do big guy things, and the match just flows a little bit better sometimes. Not to say the same can happen with smaller guys, but for big guys, we can do more in the ring, and it's cooler for a fan base to see it and like, oh man, these big guys are doing crazy stuff. Like, but they're also telling a story, which is most important. And I feel like it's always cool to do those kind of guys.
So, I know why y'all are here. Like, there's always wrestling playing.
Yeah.
When you're at your house and you want to study, what's your favorite go-to wrestling promotion to watch?
I watch a lot of WWE, and it's not to knock any other promotions because a lot of promotions do great work. AEW does great work, Impact does great work, New Japan, GCW, all these indie promotions that do great work. Raw is another good one, but I watch WWE a lot because that's where I want to be. They do it at the highest level, and they do it, and they were selected to be those individuals because they're really good at what they do. Houston says it all the time. We're all just humans. We just practice our craft a lot, and we got really good at it. Now we have something we can exchange, essentially for money. So these guys in WWE, when they do it, they were picked and chosen strategically because they were the best at it, and they know how to do it the best. And when it comes to selling, when it comes to character work, the entrance, working the crowd, they do it the best, in my opinion. And that's the perfect thing to study because you got guys like Shawn Michaels who pretty much does selling. He's the greatest seller of all time, So John Cena, he's the greatest on the mic of all time. Hot take. But yeah, I watch a lot of WWE because they are the blueprint to what you want to do. If I ever go to a WWE tryout, I want to know what I need to be doing when I get there, and those guys are the perfect, picturesque examples. Like Austin Theory, he has this chiseled physique that's like, you walk into a WWE tryout, they're gonna be looking at you. So, that starts the conversation. When you look at guys like Sami Zayn, he's mastered the art of telling a story and being a character. You know, if you can translate that into a physique plus character work plus good on the mic, you know, you go to that trial, man, you're golden. There's no way they're turning you back. They're signing these college athletes with no experience. So if you go to a tryout, you got experience, you've done the indies, you're coachable, man, that's all you need.
What's your favorite WWE pay-per-view of all time?
Oh man, WrestleMania don't count. I would say Hell in a Cell because as a kid we'd watch that and we'd be like, man, this is some extreme stuff. Like, so Hell in a Cell, but also Extreme Rules because back in the day when Extreme Rules was extreme, actually extreme, yeah, out of those two is my top two.
Anything else from y'all?
That's not normally. That's not like two. Those aren't two pay-per-views that you normally hear very often. Normally, it's like Rumble or Mania or something like that. So it's interesting that you like Hell in a Cell and Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I think I'm still in a phase where it's like I study wrestling, so I no longer can enjoy it. I've just started to enjoy it again when the whole Bloodline storyline started to come up. I've just started to enjoy it because once I went to WrestleMania in 2022. And I came back, started training. I never watched it the same again because I always watched it through a telescope of like, oh, this is how you sell. This is what they're doing. They're in establishing. They're in the go home. So like, even watching it at home, I'm with my girlfriend watching it, and she's like, man, can you stop breaking it down? I want to enjoy it. And I'm like, I gotta study, man. I gotta do it. But yeah, so I'm in a phase where I can't enjoy it anymore, and like every time I'm watching now, I'm just like, well, gotta study again. It's not even entertainment, but with the recent storylines between the Bloodline, the Uso, all of them, it's making it very entertaining again. I'm just like, well, I can kind of disassociate and enjoy it again.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. So my dad used to wrestle, and he trained me, and I wrestled like 20 matches, and my stepmom's the same way.
Oh.
We'll like say something, or we'll break something down, and she's like, "What? Do y'all just always like? Is it always going through your mind? Like, yeah, once you kind of get into it, you can't really like turn that switch off."
Yeah, it's hard to disassociate with it.
So you've had some time to think since I told you about this.
Oh man,
Mount Rushmore.
time.
Yeah, I know.
Number one. His name is John Cena.
Honestly, shocked. Never would have guessed.
If I could put 4 John Cenas on Mount Rushmore, I would. But number 2, I'm gonna say, how many is on Mount Rushmore? Like 5? It's 4. Okay, that
4.
makes it easier. I'll still get hung on the stake for this, but hey, John Cena. Then I'm gonna say Shawn Michaels. Then I will go with so many wrestlers, man. I don't study enough like that. Y'all probably like, man, is this guy even a wrestler? John Cena, I'll go Shawn, and then I will go. Man, I don't know. It's hard. Am I in the hot seat right now?
Oh yeah.
John Cena, Shawn. Let's go with. You, Randy? I think Randy's a good one,
Okay,
too.
that's a good.
John
that's a
Cena,
good one.
Randy, Shawn, and then Triple H. I think I'll live for
That's
that for a while.
Those
Fantastic one.
Those are pretty 4 solid answers. I think you answered it faster than Houston did, didn't he?
So much pressure. I was
Yeah,
like,
thank you,
man,
dude.
I answered it fast. So I picked, but I'm not 4, yeah.
Anything from y'all?
No, I'm good. Jacob.
I don't got
Jacob's
anything
over
to-
here. Jacob's enjoying listening. I can tell.
Yeah, man.
My man zoned in.
I missed the Houston Carson one. This is exciting.
Jose, anything you want to say to the audience before?
Yeah, I'll
Go.
leave the audience with a cool tidbit note. I think where I'm at right now and where you see me at in like 2 or 3 years, hopefully it's on TV. If it's not, I'll still be growing. But I just want to thank everyone for the support I've received, whether it be social media, in person, all the promotions that have booked me so far, and the ones that are in the process of doing so. Because it takes a lot for somebody to take a risk on a talent. You don't know who you're getting. When you get a new guy, I've only been in the business for 6 months wrestling actively. Haven't had a lot of matches, technically still green. So it's like, I want to thank all those promotions, people that support me. I just hope that I can be the guy that you see on TV. I know I will in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And yeah, just a kid from Port Arthur.
All right. Well, you can follow Zae's career and path on Lion Pride Sports, the Den Wars. Are you on the upcoming pay-per-view that you know? Or not pay-per-view, but the upcoming show?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in a tag team match, I believe, with Jack Galloway. It'll be our last tag match for a while. We're going to go our separate ways and do our own things for a second. But, we'll remain level X, that dominant tag team. When the time comes, be the guys that take the tag team belts home for Lions Pride Sports, and we'll put our names on the map in that area. But I'll be June 30th, I believe.
Follow Zae Carter on Twitter. Is your Instagram the same as your Twitter?
It is not. I am the most difficult person with those things. I can plug it in though. Instagram will be Zae Carter Pro. Twitter, I believe it's ZayC409. I hope it is. If it's not, just can't follow me. And then Facebook, Zae Carter as well.
Awesome. Y'all got anything else?
Yes, sir.
Jose?
I'm excited to see you on June 3rd.
It was a pleasure. Hope to see you guys
Well,
there.
we will see him on June 2nd, maybe, if he's here while we're doing recording.
Oh, I will be.
True.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that has been Zae Carter.
I'm about to explode. Speeding down a warpath.
Hi guys, Dustin here. I just wanted to thank everybody for listening and give a big shout out to Houston Carson and the Lion Pride Sports family for allowing us to do these interviews and be able to give these guys the exposure that they need and want, and to let us have this opportunity. Please make sure to catch all these guys and girls that we interview on Lions Pride Sports YouTube and all their social media, as well as catch their live show on Saturday, June 3rd. It's called Into the Fire. Go ahead and buy tickets. I don't know if they show it live or not, but catch it any way you can, because tickets do sell fast. Once again, guys, thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.